Hi, today we are going to look at the economic applications of indefinite integral. Okay, so kindly take your book, your pen, and calculator so that we do this together. Okay, so with this, we are going to take some questions and I show you how to answer them properly. Okay, so let's start. Now, this is example 1. Now, please take note of example 1. You can write it down because when we get to example 2, I'm going to compare example 1 and example 2, the difference between them. There is something about it that I want you to know. So kindly write it down so that when we get there, you can get it. Okay, so let's start. Given that MC is equal to 32 plus 18Q minus 12Q squared plus F and FC is equal to 43, find the total cost function. Now, MC stands for marginal cost and FC stands for what? Fixed cost. Okay, so to solve this, it's important to know, it's very, very important to know that the integral of marginal cost should give you total cost. Okay, the integral of what? Marginal cost should give you what? Total cost, because total cost was differentiated to give you the derivative of total cost is marginal cost. So if that is the case, then the integral of marginal cost should also give you total cost. Are you following? So what we are going to do is we are going to integrate marginal cost so that we can get total cost. So total cost is equal to integral of MC dq. Okay, so when we put the function for MC there, we have integral of 32 plus 18Q minus 12Q squared. Okay, that's what we have. Now, it's important to know that when you have a constant, are you with me? When you have a constant, let's say 3, let's say constant 3, this constant 3 is the same as 3x, like if it's with respect to x, it's the same as 3x exponent 0, because x exponent 0 gives you 1. Anything exponent 0 gives you 1, okay, times 3. Okay, any number exponent 0 gives you 1. Do you get it? Times 3, it gives you 3 back. So same thing, like 3 should give you 3q exponent 0, because q exponent 0 is 1 times this. So therefore 32 will be the same as what? Since this is with respect to q, okay, since this is with respect to q, then 32 should be the same as what? 32q exponent 0. Are you following? 32q exponent 0. Okay, so it should be the same as that. So if that is the case, then to integrate this, what we are going to have is 32q exponent 0, you repeat it, then you add 1 to the exponent and divide it by the new exponent. That's 0 plus 1. Plus, that's how we integrate. Okay, that 18q exponent 1, you know 18q means 18q exponent 1. So 18q exponent 1 plus 1, you add 1 to the exponent and divide it by the new exponent, which is now 1 plus 1, minus 12q exponent 2 repeated, then you add 1 to the exponent and divide it by what? 2 plus 1, which is the new exponent, plus c, okay, plus a constant, let's say small c. Some people use k, small k, okay, but I'm using c. So let's proceed. Then what next? 0 plus 1 gives you 1, isn't it? So you have the 1 there. 0 plus 1 gives you 1. Then 1 plus 1 gives you 2. So 18q squared over 2 minus 12q cubed. That's 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1. That's over 3 plus c. Then, you know, 32q exponent 1 is the same as 32q. In fact, divided by 1, it still remains the same, 32q. Okay. A over 1 gives you a. Okay, so you have 32q. Then 2 goes here once, go into 18. You can take your calculator, 18 divided by 2, it gives you 9. 9 over 1, which is 9, okay, q squared. Minus 3 goes into itself once and then go here 4 times. You can take your calculator and check. 12 divided by 3, it gives you 4. Okay, 4q cubed plus c. Are you following? So, you know, the thing is, some people don't pass through this third step I've done, this one. they just jump straight to this, or from here to here, okay, because they're actually perfect with it. That's why. But personally, I pass through every process when I'm solving an exam. Like, I go through this one after the other. Okay, so provided you know that when you integrate, I'm teaching, okay, that's why I have to explain it one after the other. Provided you know that when you integrate a constant, you get, let's say when you integrate 32, you should get 32q. Okay, so let's proceed. Now it's important you also know that when Fm produces nothing, let's say q is equal to 0, okay, and the firm has already incurred a fixed cost. Let's say fixed cost was 100. You've incurred a fixed cost of 100. Are you with me? And you've produced nothing. There is no variable cost. And quantity is 0. You should know that at the end of that period, your fixed cost will be equal to total cost. Your fixed cost will be equal to total cost. That's total cost is equal to fixed cost. Okay. If you've produced nothing, meaning variable cost was 0, and fixed cost is less than 100, then your total cost will be equal to fixed cost. Okay. So that's how it would look like. So that's why I said over here that if fixed cost is 43 at quantity 0, then total cost should be equal to what? 43 as well. If there is no variable cost, or you've produced nothing, and your fixed cost has been incurred, and which is what? 43, then your total cost for that period should be 43 as well. So you can use this to find C. Okay, so what we are going to do is that we are going to take this equation. Okay, you can do it in the solution as well. Okay, then you substitute 43 anywhere you see TC. Are you following? Then equals, anywhere we see Q, we substitute 0. So we have 32 multiplying 0. Are you following? Plus 9 into brackets 0 exponent 2. 9 into bracket 0 exponent 2 minus 4 multiplying what? 0 exponent 3 plus C. So 0 times 32 gives you 0. Okay, 0 exponent 2 gives you 0, and times 9 gives you 0 as well. You can use your calculator, feel free. Then 0 exponent 3 gives you 0, times 0 gives you 0 as well. So you see that all this place 10 0, isn't it? So therefore C is equal to what? 43. Okay, you have to always check, because it might happen it won't be so at times. Okay, so always check. So C is equal to what? 43. I follow. So since C is equal to 43, then we replace 43 with C. So now we have 32q plus 9q squared plus 4q cubed plus 43. So this is the total cost function. Now, if another question had maybe asked you, maybe they would have said, A, find the total cost function. B, find the average cost function. Now, to find average cost, are you with me? It's important to know that average cost, okay, is always equal to total cost divided by quantity. Total cost divided by what? Quantity. That's average cost. So if you want to find average cost from this, you have to divide through by what? Quantity. So that's going to be what? 32q divided by q. 32q divided by q. Are you following? Plus 9q squared divided by q again. You divide through by q, okay. Plus 4q cubed divided by q. 4q cubed divided by q plus 43 divided by q. 43 divided by q. When you do that, this q takes away this q, isn't it? And you have q square here. Q square means q times q. So one of these q takes away one of the, this q takes away one of the q. So you'll be left with was 9q. Let me write them. So you have 32 plus, so you have 9q, because the denominator q has taken away one of the q's. Okay, plus, so you have 4. Now q cube means q times q times q. So this denominator q will take away one of the q's at the top. So you'll be left with a q square. Are you following? So plus 43 over Q. There's no Q for this to take away, okay? So 43 over Q. So this is the average cost function, okay? If a question had asked you to find the average cost function, that's how you'd have done it. You divide through by Q, okay? So that gives you the average cost function. If another question asks you to find a variable cost, then you should know that variable cost is equal to what? Let me say VC variable cost is equal to total cost minus fixed cost. You must know that. Total cost minus what? Fixed cost. So the fixed cost is 43. If you subtract 43 from this total cost function, you'll be left with what? 33Q plus 9Q squared plus 4Q cubed. So this would have been the variable cost. 33Q plus 9Q squared plus 4Q cubed. So that's the end of this. So let's exponent, 0 times this gives you 0. E exponent 0 will return 1. Okay. E exponent 0 is 1. So 1 times 24 is 24. So if you group like terms, you have what? C to be equal to 36 minus 24, which gives you 12. So have you said that in this question, we didn't end up getting C to be the same as the 36, like what happened in the previous question. So you have to be very careful about this. Always check it out, okay? Don't assume that C2 will definitely be 36. No, don't do that. Check it out, okay? So that gives you what? TC equals 24 E exponent 0.5Q plus 12. So that's the total cost function. I hope that's clear. So let's go to example 3 quickly. Example 3 says, given marginal revenue to be 60 minus 2Q minus 2Q squared, find a demand function. Hello. Now to find a demand function, listen to me carefully. The first thing you have to do is to find the total revenue function. Now, it's important to know that solution, I didn't write the solution. Okay, it's important to know that total revenue is equal to integral of marginal revenue with respect to DQ, okay? When you integrate marginal revenue DQ, you get total revenue. Are you with me? So, if that is the case, let us integrate this. Let's integrate 60 minus 2Q minus 2Q squared. So that will give us, I hope you remember this, 60Q exponent 0 plus 1, because 60 is the same as 60Q exponent 0. So we add 1 to the exponent and divide it by the new exponent, which is 0 plus 1. Minus 2Q exponent 1, then you add 1 to the exponent and divide it by what? The new exponent, which is 1 plus 1, isn't it? Then minus 2Q exponent 2, then you add 1 to the exponent, isn't it? Then you divide it by the new exponent, which is 2 plus 1, isn't it? Plus C. I hope you are following. So, this gives us what? 60Q exponent 1 divided by 1, isn't it? Minus 2Q exponent, 1 plus 1 gives you 2, divided by 1 plus 1, which is 2, minus 2 plus 1 gives you what? 3. So you have 2Q exponent 3 divided by 3, plus C. I hope you are following. The C must come. Since it's indefinite, okay, the C must come. The constant. So this gives us what? 60Q, because 60Q exponent 1 gives you 60Q. Okay, divided by 1 is still 60Q. Minus, now take a look at this. This 2 go into itself 1 and goes here 1. So it becomes 1Q exponent 2. And 1Q exponent 2, 1A is the same as A. So 1Q exponent 2, there's no need writing the 1. It's still Q exponent 2. I hope that's clear. Minus, now this you can break it down unless you convert it to decimal. 2 over 3. So 2 over 3 Q cube. Okay. Unless you convert it to decimal, 3 can go into 2 and just like that. You get it? So we're going to have a 2 over 3 Q exponent 3 plus C. I hope you're following. So now, like, to find the value of C, are you with me? It's important to know that, listen to me carefully. You have to apply certain logic when you are solving this question. Okay. That when you produce nothing, or when you send nothing to the market, you get a revenue. No. Are you with me? When you produce nothing, when quantity is 0, total revenue too will be 0. You've produced nothing and you're expecting to earn something. No, you won't earn anything. So when you send nothing to the market to be sold, don't expect any revenue. Are you getting it? So if quantity is 0, but at quantity 0, total revenue is equal to 0. Are you following? That's what I mean by this. At quantity 0, total revenue is equal to what? 0. Meaning that when you produce nothing or when you send nothing to the market, you don't expect any revenue. Are you getting it? You have to introduce this assumption itself. Okay. Unless the question gives you a condition. Unless the question gives you a condition that, oh, at quantity this, revenue was this. But aside that, if no condition was given for a TER or something, you should know that when you send nothing to the market, total revenue is 0. So, if that is the case, we substitute 0 in place of total revenue and substitute 0 in place of what? Q, so that we can get the value of C. So, it gives us what? TR is 0, right? So, we put 0 there, equals 60 times 0 minus 0 square minus 2 over 3, 0 exponent 3 plus C. And this will make what? C to be equal to 0, because this gives you 0, this, the whole of this gives you 0, this also gives you 0, and C will be equal to 0. Do you get it? So this will make C to be equal to what? 0. So if C is equal to 0, let's substitute it there. We are going to have total revenue to be equal to 60Q minus Q square minus 2 over 3 Q cube plus 0. Since it's plus 0, we don't need to write it. Are you getting it? So the total revenue function is 60Q minus Q square minus 2 over 3 Q cube. Now listen attentively. The question says find the demand function, not the total revenue function. Some questions will be like, A, find the total revenue function, B, find the demand function. If that is the case too, you should do it like that for them. But this goes straight forward to tell you find the demand function. So you need to find the total revenue function first, then we find the demand function. Now to find the demand function, you need the average revenue. Are you with me? To find the demand function, you need what? The average revenue function. No, so average revenue is equal to what? Total revenue divided by quantity. Are you following? Average revenue is equal to what? Total revenue divided by what? Quantity. So that gives you 60Q divided by Q. We are going to divide through by Q. That's what we mean. You divide through the total revenue function by Q to get average revenue. So that gives you what? 60Q divided by Q minus Q squared divided by Q minus 2 over 3Q cubed divided by Q. So this Q takes away this Q. This also, so we have 60 minus, when this Q takes away one of the Q's, you know, you have two Q's here. Q times Q. You'll be left with one Q. Minus 2 over 3Q cubed. When this Q takes away one of the Q's here, you'll be left with what? Q squared. So 2 over 3Q squared. So this is the average revenue. Now, after getting the average revenue, you must know that price is equal to what? Average revenue. It's important to know that price is equal to what? Average revenue. Okay. Price is the same as average revenue. Unit price is equal to what? Average revenue. So if price is the same as average, just replace AR with P. Okay. Replace AR with what? With P. So when you replace it, you have P to be equal to 60 minus Q minus 2 over 3Q square. So this is the demand function. I hope you know demand function consists of price and quantity. So this is the demand function. Okay. So that's the final answer to this. Now, someone also would have done it like this. Take a look at something. You know, when you go to this part, when you go to TR equals 60Q minus Q square, kindly wait for it, minus 2 over 3 Q cube, 2 over 3 Q cube. Someone also would have done it like that. Listen, you should know that total revenue is equal to what? Price times quantity. Are you following? So you replace TR with PQ. So when you replace it with PQ, you have what? PQ equals 60Q minus Q square minus 2 over 3 Q cube minus 2 over 3 Q cube. So if that is the case, you want to make P the subject, isn't it? So to make P the subject, what do? We divide through by what? By Q. You divide through by what? By Q. So when we divide through by Q, this q will take away this q, so p will now be the subject, equals, so 60q divided by q gives you a 60q, isn't it? Minus q squared divided by q gives you q exponent 1, minus 2 over 3q cubed will give you 2 over 3q squared. You see that we end up getting same answer back again. Do you get it? So that's another way of going by it. When you get to this point, okay, you just substitute TR, you substitute PQ in place of TR, then you divide through by Q so that you can get a demand function. So that's the end of example 3. So let's proceed to example 4. Example 4 says, given the marginal propensity to consume MPC to be equal to 0.6 plus 0.1 divided by cubic root of Y, okay, and the autonomous consumption C is equal to 45, when income Y is equal to 0, find a consumption function. Hello, please pay attention to something over here. It's important to know that, okay, 3 roots, are you with me, Y, okay, is different from cube root of Y. The way they write it, you can see it clearly that they are totally different. Look at how this is written. If it was 3 root Y, you would have seen the 3 written boldly, like big. 3. You see it written separately, big. But it is written at the top like this. It's not 3 root Y, it is cubic root of Y. Is that clear? Now, aside that, another thing you should know, mathematics, if you go back to basic mathematics or indices, square root of a number, let's say square root of A, should give you A exponent 1 over 2. Okay. Square root of A is the same as A exponent 1 over 2. Okay. Cube root of A is the same as what? A exponent 1 over 3. A exponent 1 divided by 3. Okay, you must know that. And you should also know that fourth root of A will give you A exponent 1 over 4 going. Do you get it? So you should know that. Okay, so that's just, listen. So to solve this, I decided to convert this to this form. 0.1 y exponent negative 1 over 3. The reason is, you know, let's say I want to convert this. I have 0.1 at the numerator divided by, I'll convert the cube root of y. Let me clean the previous one. Let me clean this, which is not part. Okay. So, I'll convert this to what? Y exponent 1 over 3, isn't it? Y exponent 1 over 3. Now, you learned from basic mathematics that 2 over, let's say, A exponent, let's say, n, can give you 2A, sorry for the handwriting, 2A exponent negative n. Okay, if you want to bring this to this, you have to attach negative to each exponent. So that's what I've done here. 0.1 divided by y exponent 1 over 3 should give me 0.1 times y exponent negative 1 over 3. I convert it to this form so that I can do my integration properly. Okay, so another thing you should know is that the integral of MPC, okay, the integral of marginal propensity to consume should give you the consumption function. So to get consumption function, you should integrate marginal propensity to consume. And this one will not be with respect to dq, it will be dy, because y is the variable here. Okay, y is the variable here. So to integrate this, we have 0.6 y exponent 0 plus 1, isn't it? Divided by 0 plus 1 plus 0.1 y exponent negative 1 over 3 plus 1. Okay, the exponent is negative 1 over 3. Then we add 1 to it. Divided by negative 1 over 3 plus 1. Isn't it? Then plus c, which is a constant. You can use k. So, this gives you what? 0.6 y exponent 1 over 1. Then 0.1 y exponent 2 over 3. Because negative 1 over 3 plus 1 gives you 2 over 3. Okay, you can use your calculator. Divide by 2 over 3 plus c. So, it gives you 0.6y. 0.1 divided by 2 over 3 will give you 0.15. I convert it to decimal because the question itself has it's in a decimal form already, like this. So I decided to convert this part to decimal. Okay, if it's in fraction, you can leave everything in fraction. So, okay, so 0.1 divided by 2 over 3 gives me 0.15 times y exponent 2 over 3 plus c, isn't it? So we have, now when income, okay, when income is equal to 0 at c is equal to 45, this small c2 will be equal to 45. The reason is, when you substitute 0 here, when you substitute 0 in place of y, and you substitute 0 here, you know, 0 exponent this gives you 0 times this 0. And c is equal to 45, okay. 0 times it gives you 0. So you realize that this small c will end up giving you what? 45. Okay. So you get small c to be equal to 45. So you just substitute it there. So you have 0.6y plus 0.15 y exponent 2 over 3 plus c, which is now 45. Okay, so the consumption function is 0.6y plus 0.15 y exponent 2 over 3 plus 45. So that's the consumption function. I hope that's clear. So please, you must know these things, these indices and these indices stuffs I've explained over here. You should know them properly so that you can apply them whenever you are solving questions. Okay, so let's go to example 5, which is the last example, and pay attention over here because this is very it's some way. So let's check it out. They said the marginal propensity to save is given by NPS is equal to 0.5 minus 0.2 y exponent negative 1 over 2. There is a desaving. Please take note of this. Always read a question. I always tell you, read questions properly before you jump into answering it. There is a what? Desaving, not saving, but desaving of 3.5 Ghana cedis. When income is 25 Ghana cedis, find a savings function. So just like we've been doing initially, the integral of MPS, marginal propensity to save, okay, should give you the savings function. Okay, so if that is the case, then it means that when you integrate the savings function, which is 0.5 minus 0.2 y exponent negative 1 over 2, with respect to dy, you should get a savings function, isn't it? Okay, so we integrate it. So we have 0.5 y exponent 0 plus 1 divided by 0 plus 1 minus 0.2 y exponent. So we add 1 to the exponent of this as well, divided by the new exponent, which is negative 1 over 2 plus 1, plus c, isn't it? So when we do that, we get 0.5 y exponent 1 divided by 1 minus 0.2 y exponent 1 over 2. The reason is negative 1 over 2 plus 1 gives you 1 over 2, okay? Then divided by 1 over 2 plus c. So when you simplify this further, you get 0.5 y minus 0.2 divided by 1 over 2. 1 over 2 is the same as 0.5, okay? So 0.2 divided by 0.5 gives you what? 0.4. Okay, so y exponent 1 over 2 plus c. So this gives us what? Now, the question says there is a desaving. So you are going to say since s, which is saving, is equal to negative 3.5. If the question had said saving, not desaving, if the question had said saving of 3.5, you would have used s as what? Positive 3.5. But because the question says desaving, you use your s as negative 3.5 at y is equal to 25. Okay, income 25. Okay, then when we substitute, okay, always check it. So when we substitute negative 3.5 here in place of s equals 0.5. When we substitute 25 in place of y minus, when we substitute 25 in place of y, okay, what does that give you? Now, when you simplify it, you get c to be equal to negative 410. This is because this 25 times 0.5 gives you, that's 12.5. Is that not so? 12.5 minus 25 exponent half gives you 5, because 25 exponent 1 over 2 means square root of 25, and that's 5. So 5 times 0.4 gives you what? It gives you 2, right? So minus 2. Okay, so 12 minus 2 gives you what? 12.5 minus 2 gives you 10.5, isn't it? So that 10.5, when you group like terms and you move it to this negative 3.5. It becomes negative 10.5. Do you get it? So minus 3.5 minus 10.5. That gives you minus 14. Okay. So C is equal to negative 14. This is what I mean. You have negative 3.5 here at this side already. It's equal to, you know, we've gotten the whole of this. When you put, you can even put it on calculator to find the whole of this. It gives you positive 10.5. 10.5 plus C plus C. So when you group like terms, grouping like terms, you bring this one here, isn't it? So you have negative 3.5. Since this was positive and it's crossing the equal to sign, it should also become minus. So minus 10.5. Okay, equals C. So use your calculator to press negative 3.5 minus 10.5. It gives you negative 14. So that's why C is equal to what? Small c is equal to negative 14. Hence, you have saving function to be 0.5y minus 0.4y exponent 1 over 2. You know, you have plus c. So plus negative 14 will now give you minus 14. Okay. So that is the savings function as well. Okay. So that is the end of this lesson. Okay. Thank you for watching.